All right, man. Let's talk about it. I already see the headlines flying all over MMA. I'm talking about Twitter, Reddit, YouTube. Tom Aspinall got exposed. Like, bro, really? That's what we're doing now? The guy gets eye gouged out of a competitive fight and suddenly he's a fraud? Let's chill. I get the mixed feelings about this one because, yeah, there were some things that Tom could have done better. We'll get to that. But the whole exposed talk to me is kind of wild. The first thing I want to bring up is like, can we stop acting like Ciryl Gane is some random bum just because he lost to John Jones and Francis Ngannou? Like, bro, those are two of the best heavyweights ever. It's not like he lost to Chase Sherman. There's a reason why the UFC keeps giving Gane these big opportunities. He's damn good. That and the heavyweight division is kind of ass. The man moves like a middleweight. He throws combinations like a welterweight. Yeah, and yeah, he frustrates people. He gets those little endless title shots. He smiles too much. But you know why? Because he's good enough to earn them. Even when the fans are sick of him, the UFC knows that it comes to pure athleticism and skill, and he's one of them. And that's what Tom ran into. People forget that this was the first truly athletic heavyweight Tom has ever faced. Every guy before this has been kind of stiff, flat-footed, easy to time. Volkov, Tarbura, even Pavlovich. They're powerful, but they're not fluid. Like, let's just say how it is. Tom is used to dudes that just stand there waiting to get lit up. But Gane, nah. Gane's the type of guy who makes you miss, makes you overthink, makes you hesitate. That's why this fight looks so different. You can literally see Tom trying to process what he was dealing with. And for the first time, he couldn't just walk through someone. And I don't want to hear anyone say, well, Tom couldn't get him down, so he's exposed. Bro, Gane's takedown defense has always been solid. The problem is, once he gets taken down, he does panic. That's always been the knock. But he's been working on that. You can see that in the way he defended early. He was balanced, aware, he didn't overextend. And I gotta give him credit. His jab was on fire. That thing was snapping Tom's head back like a fucking bouncing ball. So he was using beautiful control range. Tom had to deal with a piston-like jab every time he stepped in. And for a guy who's used to being the faster one in the cage, that's tough. So let's also be real here. Tom also looked human for once, and fans aren't used to that. He's been out here starching people like in 90 seconds, walking out with barely a sweat. So the moment he gets touched up a little bit, the MMA community goes full drama mode. Oh, he's overrated. Oh, he's not elite. Like, bro, he had one of the most competitive rounds against one of the most athletic and experienced guys in the division. Let's relax. You can't expect a heavyweight who's finishing everyone in a minute to have elite composure and defensive habits where he's never been there before. You only build that stuff by getting tested. This was his test. And here's the part that kills me. The narrative that Gane was dominating. Nah, man, it was close. Gane was slightly edging it, sure. He had the cleaner moments, but Tom was starting to find his rhythm before that eye poke happened. He was touching Gane with that right hand, mixing in the body kick, and just beginning to close that range. That's when the file changed everything, but people forget that detail because the MMA world has the attention of a goldfish. Let's just say it how it is. And at the end of the day, this wasn't Tom getting exposed. This was Tom finally running into somebody who can actually make him think. It's easy to look unstoppable when your opponents are just standing in front of you like target dummies. But Gane, like I mentioned this entire time, is built different. He's smooth, he's unpredictable, and he's light on his feet. He's not some guy you can just bomb on. And honestly, I think Tom needed this fight. He needed to feel what it feels like to get tested, to not get that knockout early, to deal with a chess match instead of a slugfest. And look, man, another thing I want to point out, and I've been saying this for a while, Tom Aspinall was never the defensive wizard people pretend he is. Like, I'll be honest, let's be real here. He's fast, he's slick, he's explosive, but he's not some, master at avoiding shots. You go back and watch his old fights. He's been getting tagged. He got tagged by Curtis Blades. Pavlovich hit him flush before the nuke happened, you know what I'm saying? Even Volkov touched him up early. It's just every time he got hit, he fired right back and ended the fight so fast that nobody remembered that happened. But that's the thing. When you're running through people in 90 seconds, you don't have to be perfect. You don't get time to show flaws. Like, bro, when has he ever needed head movement? He's been too busy deleting people. You only see how good someone's defense is when the guy across from them can actually survive the early storm. And Gane did that. Gane was the first guy to stand in front of Tom, eat a few shots, move around, and not completely freak out. That alone changed the entire vibe. And say what you want about Gane, but he's smooth. He's not out there stiff like a Pavlovich, plotting like Volkov. He's got that loose bounce to him, that little footwork shift, the in and out rhythm. It messes with your timing. Tom is used to fighting guys who stand right there, waiting for the counter, Gane sliding out, the way he rolls with punches, flicking that jab in your face every time you try to get close. Like, bro, that jab was annoying. He was tagging Tom with it nonstop, and you could just tell that Tom never fought someone who can match him like that. The man was used to being the hammer every single time, and this was one of the very first time he was the nail, even just for a few moments. And that's a learning curve, bro. You got to go through that to become great. You got to fix the holes in your game if nobody ever put you in that position to see them. Gane did that. He showed Tom, hey, there's levels to this. Not in a disrespectful way, but in a way that makes him better. And honestly, I think we finally saw it, because before this, it was all speculation like, oh, Tom is untouchable. Tom would smoke Jon Jones. Tom beats everyone in 2 minutes. Now we actually got some real footage to work with. We can see where he needs to tighten up, and when it comes to the defense, the composure, the setups, and that's not a bad thing in my opinion. That's growth. Every great fighter's been through that. Jones had it, Ngannou had it, even Volk had it. You need that fight where someone makes you look human before you can level up again. I think this was Tom finally gaining experience, and unfortunately, it happened in a fight where Gane looked sharp and things ended with a damn eye poke. Like, bro, what are we doing here? The dude got finger jabbed straight into his socket, can't even open his eye, and somehow half the fan base is like, oh, he's faking it, or he wanted out. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Nobody wanted out of this world title fight, okay? And man, the more I watched it, the harder it is just to shrug it off as, oops, my bad. Like, come on. That wasn't a light range finder. That was a full extension straight into the eyeball. Cyryl's hand wasn't flicking or measured. His fingers were spread wide. His arm followed through, and that thumb drove in. You can see it in slow motion, bro. That wasn't just a tap. That was a shove. And I'm not saying that Gane did it with pure malicious, but it's not hard to notice how careless he was. He does that pawing thing in every fight, always measuring distance with an open hand, and it's been borderline for years. It's the same habit that everyone's been warning him about. And this time, it went exactly where people feared it would. Straight into somebody's eye. Not the forehead graze, not a glancing poke, straight up deep in the socket. When that happened, you could tell Tom immediately knew something was seriously wrong. He backed up, grabbed his face, and you can see him trying to open his eye, but he couldn't. He wasn't milking it. He was hurt. His eye looked like he got stabbed. The doctor came in and asked him to look up, and Tom literally said, I can't see. And what bugs me the most is seeing Gane's reaction right after. He didn't even look concerned. He kind of backed off with that half apologetic face like, my bad. But then he's pacing around like he's annoyed that he just can't keep fighting. Like, bro, you just jammed your goddamn finger into the man's eyeball and he can't see. Show some urgency. It rubbed me off the wrong way, because this whole situation just ended up being annoying, like generally frustrating, because we didn't get a real result. The first fight had that feeling that, that tension, that something big is about to happen vibe, and then it just ended on a foul. I was hyped, I was locked in, and right when it started to heat up, boom, the eye poke, fight over. It's like the fight god said, nah, you don't get closure tonight. And yeah, I'll be real, it kind of bugs me. I wanted to see how it was going to play out. We were just starting to see who was setting into rhythm. Tom finding his timing. Gane was getting loose. And then all the momentum vanished. It leaves you sitting there like, bro, that's it? That's how we're going to end the heavyweight title fight? Like, come on, man. That's not how you close out a main event. But now we're obviously going to have to run it back, hopefully in a few months, if Tom's eye heals up properly, because Ciryl Gane's a bitch. And here's the thing. The second fight is going to hit different, because this time, both guys know what they're walking into. There's no surprise. Gane knows that he can hang with Tom, and Tom knows that he can't just walk through Gane like he did with Pavlovich and Tybura. The rematch is going to be way more tactical, more psychological, and probably even more hyped. And you already know that the betting odds are going to flip now. Tom came into this one as the favorite. Everyone expected him to smoke Gane in under 2 rounds, and clearly that didn't happen. Now that Gane held his own and looked sharp before the eye poke, I bet the lines are going to be way more closer this time. It'll probably be a pick'em fight, and honestly, that's how it should be. The storyline's going to be great too, because now you got all this added drama. Was it intentional? How bad was the injury? Can Tom bounce back? Can Gane stay disciplined and fix his hand placement? All that stuff just adds fuel to this rematch, and I think that's what's going to make the second fight even bigger. It's not just about who's better, it's about redemption, it's about clarity, and proving who actually deserves to be the champion. Now, if we're going to talk about the bigger picture, like the championship scene, I still think Alex Pereira might fight Jon Jones, and I think it's going to be in the White House. They might be their own thing. I just don't see Tom Aspinall or Gane fighting Alex Pereira. I think Pereira versus Jones is too massive of a money fight, and I think the UFC might go that direction. I'm not saying that's the fight I would want to see. Personally, I want to see Alex fight Tom Aspinall, but with the White House card down the line, I can literally see that fight, taking place. And then Tom Aspinall probably won't be on the card, or Ciryl Gane, whoever wins their rematch. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens next, because this all fucking sucks. Let's just be honest. This is not what we wanted, like the ending, obviously. But hopefully that rematch comes quick, a few months from now. It'll be cool. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, I'll see you on my next one.